Here are 3 simple biohacks you can add to your daily morning routine today to help you feel good about yourself, boosting your manifestation abilities. Hi, I'm Leona. I'm an energy healer and I care about you manifesting as powerfully as you want. And I'll take you through some of my winter morning routine while we're at it. First daily biohack is once I wake up, while I'm stretching and taking deep breaths, I turn on my own affirmations recording. It's an audio of custom-made affirmations that I've made for myself, and it's my way of programming my subconscious first thing in the morning because that's when the subconscious is most susceptible when you're in that half asleep, half awake state. And why I'm so passionate about rewiring the subconscious is because 90 to 95% of our thoughts that we choose to think are actions that we make on autopilot on a daily basis, and therefore the way we move in the world, the way we see ourselves, our self-concept, and therefore the way we co-create our reality, including our external reality, is all 90 to 95% driven by our subconscious without us probably not being aware of it. Our brains tend to be naturally wired to seek out the dangers and the negative outcomes in most situations, which is not our fault. It's just the conditionings of the matrix that we've all grown up in. So for me, I found affirmations are one of the powerful ways to rewire it. And there's something so powerful about recording your own affirmations using your own voice and listening to that on repeat every single morning, because the frequency of your own voice is going to be absorbed by you and your body will take that to be just so much more real than listening to an audio of someone else's affirmations perhaps. Now, these affirmations of course can be anything you want them to be, as wild as you want them to be. It's by tending to and rewiring our subconscious that certain people are just able to think that the impossible is just possible for them. And then it does happen for them because they already thought it. If you ever want inspiration on what types of affirmations to use, I highly recommend Googling Louise Hay affirmations, and she's got all sorts of lists for every aspect of life, whether it's health, wealth, self-love. And here's a pro tip: when you are recording that audio, I highly recommend being in your heart space, because heart frequency is really powerful for manifesting. I find that there's a big difference when I'm absorbing my own affirmations that have heart infused into them versus the affirmations that don't. And by the way, all affirmations work best when they are spoken in the present tense. Pro tip number 2, while you're listening to them, if you want, you can imagine yourself literally stepping into a parallel reality that is next to you, because, and this is very quantum physics-y, all parallel timelines exist right now, including the timeline of your current reality and the timeline where you are already experiencing your desire. Visualizing stepping into that reality and embodying that version of you who already has that affirmation to be completely 100% true for you is going to boost the effectiveness of this practice even more. Listening like this to my own affirmations repeatedly literally has me starting the day feeling unstoppable, confident, loving myself, secure. Second biohack is, while doing that affirmation practice I described in part 1, I do an ear massage. Now this might sound really odd, but I learned it from Dr. Lily, who is a TCM Doctor, traditional Chinese medicine. And it's a really short practice that's recommended to be done at least 3 times a day. And I learned that really quick ear massages release all the 4 happy hormones: dopamine, endorphins, serotonin, and oxytocin, which is incredible. I love my happy hormones. It's what keeps me feeling balanced. And this ear massage is almost equivalent to reflexology or acupuncture, because there are many acupressure points on the ears that correspond directly to the health of all the other big organs in your body. The fact that it only takes a few minutes of massage to get those 4 happy hormones flooding through your body is just amazing to me. Talk about a biohack, that's a real hack right there. I've only tried this for a couple of days now, but the few times that I remember to do it before bedtime, I kid you not, I go to bed smiling like a baby. And as I go into the rest of my winter morning routine, I might squeeze in a really simple workout. I am personally by no means a hardcore workouter. I just do the really basic simple stuff for my booty, my hips, and for back strengthening to improve my posture. And I might do some physical yoga. I used to be a yoga teacher, but nowadays I find that I practice yoga mostly through the ways I live life, because yoga entails operating from a place of oneness and union with all beings, all living beings, and that everything is interconnected, which further describes how self-concept work through affirmations can really change the way you see yourself, and therefore the way you see the world and the things that you expect from your reality and start to see concretely. I do try to be disciplined with the balancing yoga poses though, just because I can be self-conscious of potentially falling during jazz dance class. Third biohack after I eat or while I'm making the breakfast is I dance. I freaking dance as if no one's watching. and no one is. When I think back to my previous days where I didn't have this habit of making sure I dance and move freely enough, I see such a big difference between then and now in my capacity to receive joy and pleasure consistently and easily and comfortably. Because when I first started doing this daily dancing routine thing, there'll be some moments where I would feel really weird and uncomfortable, and I realized that that discomfort was me expanding my perception of how safe I am or how worthy I am to receive endless joy and pleasure in just being a silly, playful dancer kid. Again, this type of discomfort, if it arises, is nobody's fault. It's just the conditionings of the matrix, especially if you grew up hearing all the time, work and don't play, or work first and then only play, or that fun is unproductive, play is unproductive, when really it is the root of where all productive, creative, helpful, beneficial ideas come from when you're in that flow state. And a lot of the society and this matrix has conditioned us to that we are only deserving of pleasure when we've worked hard enough, when we've hustled hard enough for it. And even if we have hustled hard enough for it, there can supposedly only be so much pleasure and joy that we are entitled to feeling in any given moment. And so this daily dancing practice, besides releasing happy hormones like dopamine, it's also been a big part of my journey experimenting with how much joy and pleasure do I allow myself to receive, because receiving, the ability to receive, is a big part of powerfully manifesting. You can call in all the things and desires that you want, consciously and subconsciously, but if you do not feel safe receiving it and allowing the things in and holding them and believing you deserve them fully, then that's a little bit of a conflict there. And because of this, I really take care to prioritize joy and fun and pleasure no matter what. So if you ever find yourself feeling weird or uncomfortable, or like you're taking up too much space while you're doing this free flow dance practice, I highly recommend just calming down, standing still, grounding into the earth through your feet and your legs, placing one hand on your heart and the other on your lower abdomen, which is where the sacral lies, which is essentially the source of life force and creativity and pleasure in an individual's being and body. So from that space, take deep breaths, tell yourself, I am safe. I am safe to receive endless pleasure and joy all the time. I'm safe to take up space for authentically being me. I'm worthy of infinite joy and pleasure. If you want more in-depth tips on how to be a master manifester, do sign up for the waitlist to my upcoming self-paced online course, Break Free from the Matrix.